Welcome back my lovely beans. Today we're having a look at Mac. Why Mac? Because I love her. She's fun, especially with Compressor Prime. I do have to say I tested her around a lot with Compressor Prime when Compressor Prime got released. Her together with Compressor Prime for level cap, one of my favorite things to do at the moment. I hope you enjoy and keep watching. Pull is Mac's first ability, where she generates a strong magnetic vortex in front of her that lasts for 2 seconds, pulling every enemy in a 6-meter radius around herself and ragdolls them to a literally ball of enemies. It deals magnetic damage. It has a short casting ability affected by casting speed, and it still inflicts damage to enemies that are immune to crowd control. The ability is a one-handed action and can be casted while in the air, but not while on a zipline. It is max subsume and makes it able to put it on other warframes, and you can use the argument as well on other warframes, but it reduces the range. Magnetized is the second ability. It has a tap and a hold function. Mostly it will be used for the tap function. For the tap function, you aim at one enemy and it will pull for a specific radius all enemies around you, which is affected by range. As long as that enemy in the middle is alive, and for your duration, the enemies will be pulled in. So if here another enemy would spawn, it will still be pulled in. Only the main target is affected by the damage multiplier. The magnetized target can still attack and cast ability. Enemies immune to crowd control, such as Overguard, will not be anchored, but the magnetized field will move with them. If the initial target, so the target you apply the field to, or your duration runs out, your field explodes and deals blast damage in a fixed 15-meter radius. Or you use the argument to destabilize your field. Certain weapons can go through that field with infinite punch through. You can use some laser beams, or for example Excalibur with the excited blade, or really with her Aqua blades are working for that. Same with Warbin with Photon Strike. The ability is a one-handed action and can be done while reloading, shooting, jumping, etc. It can be only 3 magnetized fields at the same time on the field. For the protective version, which is the hold version, you have a singularity that is in your hand that increase over time blast damage as long as it held. All bullets and projectile caught within 4 meters around you will be absorbed into you and then will be released. It is barely used. Also, you can cut polarized shards into them. You can't use your weapons while this one is active, but still use it while you're jumping or aim gliding. But you will disable it while crouching, rolling, or double jumping. You can still pick up items while using it. The third ability is polarize. You can use it first things first to restore your shield, which is huge. You can destroy or break objects with it, like containers or resource nodes, etc., to gain, objects. With a base shield, you need 139 strength to fully replenish your shield. With catalyzing shield, your shield will drop to 111, which gives you the opportunity to run negative strength to still fully replenish your shield with your 3. You also replenish the shields of companions, allies, specters, cryopods, excavators, so other objectives, and so on. It's synergized with pull because pull brings polarized shards to mech. It synergizes with magnetize because magnetize will absorb polarized shards, especially when you hold the ability. Crush is mech's 4th ability, where she, in a 80-meter radius, suspending her enemies into the air and compresses them, crashes them. smashes them, whatever you want to call it, and inflicts magnetic damage and knocks them down. In addition to that, Mag and her allies recover shield per enemy per tick to a maximum to 75 per enemy. It is affected by casting speed and can also restore overshield. Interesting is also that since the ability is a 3-tick ability, that enemies that will walk into the area after you already started to cast will still be affected. And the ability doesn't rely on line of sight. So for example, enemy sense can be helpful to have a bigger overview where you want to cast it to affect as many enemies as possible. For the arguments, the first argument for the first ability is called Greedy Pull. Greedy Pull gives Meg the ability to attract pickups towards herself. The argument for the second ability is called Magnetize Discharge. This argument allows manual detonation by recasting the ability, so the aura or like the globe. The enemies hit by the detonation have a chance to be disarmed, and it additionally increased the magnetized range. The argument for the third ability is called Counter Pulse. It jams enemies' weapons and disables robotic enemies for a set duration. The argument for the fourth ability is called Fracturing Crush. It enhances the casting speed of Crush and allows to permanently reduce armor and temporarily immobilize all remaining enemies. For the build, the first build that I want to show you, it is a Shock Trooper build. We are running Shock Trooper over the 1. We are running a Brief Respite Catalyzing Shields setup. Catalyzing Shield simply because for the 1.33 shield gate duration that we are getting, we are reducing our shield to 111. We're running Fast Deflection, Vigilant Vigor for real charge, so we can like press Shock Trooper for the typical Brief Respite. Fast Deflection, Vigilant Vigor helps us to recharge. Prime Flow for a better energy economy. Shock Trooper, obviously, for the argument. Hold to cast will grant an allies within 50 meter an additional 100% electricity damage to their attacks. Rolling Guard for the Eupsies. Umbral Intensify for extra strength. And Equilibrium for the energy economy. We're running Arcane Fury for base damage because we're using Falcor. If you prefer another weapon, that's absolutely fine, but that is a melee setup. Also, we're running Mold Argument for a little bit extra strength, and Sure-Footed if you have the Prime version, absolutely fine. This setup here is an idea that I was running a few level caps with. You're using a compressor with a magnetic setup to get rid of Thraxes, because when you use magnetic on the Thraxes due to magnetic breaking the overguard, for the electric tick that, produces that, will kill the Thraxes and your Falcor in total to get rid of all of the rest of the enemies. I think in addition to that, I was running a dexterity setup on my primary, just in case if I need it, but that is absolutely up to you. That is just, a funny way to do a level cap compressor setup. So what directly is the idea of Thraxes with magnetic? I do have my compressor in my hand, and I have a fortifier setup, and the magnetic tick is literally what kills the Thrax. The magnetic tick that gives when the overguard breaking an electric tick is what kills the Thrax, and that works till level cap. It's just my compressor at the moment. I don't have any other buff up. If you now, in addition to that, let me show you, actually would apply your 2, that would be even better. So yeah, definitely good one. But what is the idea behind the first build, the Shock Trooper build? Pretty simple. You hold your Shock Trooper, you build a little bit of extra damage for your Falcor, and you're good to go. That's literally the whole idea. You're staying alive whenever you need to press and polarize. You press your 2 on Thraxes, that's the whole idea. Really nice, really safe. You have Fortifier from your compressor. That's my whole Void Cascade setup. Really easy, really nice. I was testing it specifically because I wanted to run Void Cascade with the Compressor Prime. Similar setup, just completely in the other direction, is Smite. Smite does the same, we're just not using Catalyzing Shield, we're doing Primary Direction and Aegis if you prefer to run Aegis for comfort. We're going into full shield getting, so 2.5 seconds on invulnerability. Aegis, you know, on shield damage, 3% chance of 30% shield recharge. We're running fast deflection, vigilant vigor, rolling guard for the oopsies and for the recharge. Brief respite for the recharge as well. Blind rage for the extra strength. We can use our 3 to get our shield back. We have smite over the 1. We have prime flow and equilibrium for our energy economy. Here the same idea. Compressor and smite on the Shrexes. Whenever we need shield back, we have polarize. And you can also run fortifier on your weapon as well. Same idea technically for smite. You're pressing smite on the enemy. You're using your compressor. You're bubbling them. You're killing them. So all good. Most of it will still, you know, obviously do the magnetic, the brakes, the overguard, right? Just so you're aware. But that's it. You have a lot of more shield on this build. You go the Aegis route. I just want to like show you both options, just so you're aware which route you prefer to play, right? Just so you're aware of it. This setup is called tank. It's not for mech being tanky. If you don't know, if you do on Steel Path on 1999, the tank, and you activate 2 of the computers, you will get a specific form of the tank. And if you do that, you do get a specific mech glyph. You know, you can do that on multiple frames, and mech is one of them, right? And for that, you know, you probably heard multiple content creators already like talk about that, but I wanted to show you, in my opinion, a kind of comfortable setup for that. Since mech is one of the frames, I was like, why not showing you one way to do it? You're running Mold as a subsume simply for the movement speed and also for the cleanse. Brief Respite, Firewalker because for the aim glide, because what you can do when you're actually going against a tank is you're staying in the air as long as possible. So Firewalker, Aerial Vantage. We're running Primary Direction, Fast Deflection, Vigilant Vigor, Aegis for like the little bit of safety, Energy Nexus for the energy economy, and you pray and hope for the best that you don't get randomly hit or stuck or anything, and good luck with that. Just, you know, if you need it, if you want to test it, I will put more information in the info box about that. I will put the links in, what you need to do, and, you know, you're good to go. Breach Search. I know that a lot of you like Breach Search. I know it's like kind of like a public subsume, right? So I'm happy to like show you one setup. The only thing I'm not fully sure if I like Blind Rage on it, if I don't like Blind Rage on it. Sometimes I'm wondering if I would prefer Transit Fortitude, but then, you know, your duration is actually kind of low, you know, when you swap that out. And you're losing a little bit of strength, but then you could actually spam it a little bit more. So actually just test it out what you would prefer. So let me tell you what you're actually doing. What is the idea? You magnetize enemies, then you're applying Breach Search. That's about it. Really good idea, right? That is only about it, but it's funny. I liked it. I think I used it mostly in one of my EDA runs, right? And net results works really nice. It's, you know, whenever you don't have a good weapon, it is good. Equilibrium and flow, you know, saves your energy economy. Redirection and Aegis keeps you alive. Fast deflection, vigilant vigor, the other way around, but you know what I mean. You know, helps you with that. Rolling guard is your oopsie. You, in addition to that, have you polarize, you know, sure-footed, knockdown immunity. Both argument gives you a little bit of extra strength when you have your full kills up. What do you need more, right? You're supposed to have fun, so let's have fun. Breach Search. You're applying it to an enemy. Wait till I want to suck it in. Using Breach Search. And everything explodes. Is that not fantastic? Boom. I like it. I find it funny. Still the question, are you fine with having a little bit less strength and going Transit Fortitude to being able to, like, you know, spam your ability a little bit more? That is up to you, whatever you prefer. You know, I would say that's absolutely up to you. Figure out what you like more. Test it around. If you can fit, maybe put Umbral Intensify on, right? I currently can't fit that in my build, I will be absolutely honest, right? But test it around. Well of Life. Do I need to say more? I think that is the most common setup, right, guys? Oh boy. Well of life on an enemy. We're magnetizing them. And then we have, nowadays, the Coda Basicist. I know originally it was, the Tenet Arcaplasma, right? But I would say the Basicist, the Coda Basicist is even better. What are we doing? We're using Transit Fortitude, Prime Flow, Equilibrium, I was looking for that. Prime Continuity with a little bit more duration, Archon Stretch, because why not? We do like a good energy economy. Redirection, because, we're tanking a tiny bit. Rolling Guard for the Oopsies, and a little bit more range. Is it needed? Not really. That's your flex spot. If you have something else you want to put in here, absolutely go for it. And Corrosive Protection. Corrosive Protection simply makes it you hit even harder. That is the simple answer. Enemies lose 18% of armor. You are hitting harder. And who doesn't want to, hit harder, right? But that's simply it. And it's fun. I like it. It's a little bit of a stationary, playstyle. Or you need to walk around, you want to, make sure that there's one door your enemies can't go through it. That is your playstyle. Well of life. Oh boy. Do I need to say anything else? Coda Basicist. Well of life. It's nice. You're getting everything. You're getting your dead head stacks. They're dying even before I can be back. That is hilarious. They're just going down. There we go. It's fun. I like it. I think I don't have to say anything else. Boing. But yeah. Absolutely fun. Absolutely nice. It's definitely something if you want to test it. I think it's one of the most common, little ideas a lot of people had. It's nothing new. I will be absolutely honest, but it's definitely fun. So go test it out and see what you like. If you're just starting out with mech, that would maybe be a nice setup for you. This build here fits on a normal mech with no formers, but you need an Archon reactor, just so you know. We're running Dreamer's Bond as always, simply because you get it from a quest. It's a good starter. If you have something else, you prefer something else, that's absolutely fine. Intensify for a little bit of strength. You sadly don't exactly hit the sweet spot where Polarize are completely recharging, but we're also technically shield tanking a tiny bit, so we don't have enough strength anyway, but you are safe. You are literally safe, don't worry about it. Just don't forget that Polarize is giving you your shield back, so don't forget to press it from time to time. Flow for energy max, Equilibrium to give you a little bit more energy back, Continuity for duration. If you don't feel like running it, you can absolutely drop it. If you don't want to invest into that. For mech, it is not needed, so you can definitely drop duration. Fast Deflection, I definitely would suggest that. It helps you to recharge your shield so you can tank a little bit more. Vitality, if anything goes through your shield, for example Toxin or Slash Tick, so it keeps you alive. And Streamline, so you can spam a little bit more, right? So it's a good setup. It's a nice setup. It keeps you alive. It's a good start. For shards for the Shock Trooper build, I would definitely suggest to run one Tau Forge green. If you don't want to run one Tau Forge green, you have to run 2 normal greens. I would run 1 Parker Velocity, 1 Casting Speed, and I'm currently running 2 purple shards for melee crit damage when max energy is over 500. The same setup I also would run for the Smite setup. For the Breach Search setup, I would definitely suggest Casting Speed to make it a little bit more comfortable. If you want, you can either run Predators if that's an option. If you don't are connected to ETA and you're a little bit more restricted, then it could helpful if you want to run an Armor Shard or a Health Shard if you wanted to. If you want to go a little bit more of a safer route, you could run more Strength if you feel like you want more Strength, especially if you run Transit Fortitude. You could run more Duration if you want to have your Breach Shards more duration, right? Another option would be if you want to still run certain weapons, to still run green shards on that. Other than that, Parker Velocity is always an option. Otherwise, test whatever you feel like. For the Well of Life, it's kind of the same. You can run Parkour Velocity, you can run Casting Speed, you can run more Strength. While Strength is not necessarily needed because it's nothing that is actually directly connected to Strength. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and Tell me what you think about my fashion. It's a lot of purple, less blue this time. I like her skin, I like the hair combination, so tell me. And maybe next time show me how you look. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful day.